Hi, this is Hope. Welcome back to the channel. I'm glad you're here. Today's reading is for Scorpio, and Scorpio is kind of a badass, honestly. um, Scorpio has their eye on the prize, and they know what they're going for. They know exactly what they're aiming for. I don't know if you can see that. You know exactly what they're aiming for. They know exactly how to get what they want at exact angles. They're utilizing precision and detail to move some really big energies. Not just to get what they want, but to get what, or to help the collective and other people. They're kind of the mastermind behind all of this. So there's something going on in your life where either behind the scenes or in front of the scenes, you're kind of making it all happen for the group. And it may just be you, but you're definitely utilizing your expertise and you seem to be uniquely qualified for whatever job you're going for whatever project you're spearheading. You know exactly which notes to play, how to angle arguments, and you're making it all work for a big system. And all of this is being engineered by the power of the moon. Okay, so here we have the moon. And then we have this twilight moon energy where, true, it's the light at the end of the tunnel. That's a person and they're coming out of a tunnel. It's the light at the end of the tunnel, but the light is the moon. And in this case, the moon is just the power of the subconscious and your ability to harness the power of your subconscious and to consciously understand how you make decisions. Your power comes from meditation and from that subconscious moon energy that comes from meditation. Usually this card comes across as exhaustion and just being totally spent. But now it's Scorpio is completely enmeshed in true reality. You know, the only kind you find in meditation. And everything, when you are in that state of meditation, all is oneness. And everything merges into seamless being. And things start to make sense. This is such an interesting card. I don't know if you can see it that well. But, so it's a sculpture and it's coming off the wall, but I see it as, it's just like a white screen. And Scorpio is pressing their being through that screen, which could be everyday life, which could be the barrier between everyday life and higher dimension, or however you want to see it. Just a higher consciousness. And Scorpio is pressing themselves, kind of I don't know if you've seen that video. I think it's Bjork. It doesn't matter. They're pressing themselves through that kind of latex barrier and creating a relief of their face as they kind of merge from this everyday world into a higher state of consciousness in that world. So this reading actually starts off with this card. And I see this card as Scorpio knows exactly what the hell is going on. They can see through they can see through the illusions of the collective, or the illusions of just being in a 3D planet. And they've unmasked all the players of the game, and they're just kind of disillusioned and like, okay, I know this whole Earth business is not exactly the full story. So it kind of, you may feel like you're starting off a little disillusioned. But it comes from you do a place for where you really do have the truth. And you're just like, you're so over it. But then you go from that place of maybe frustration or disillusionment, and then you sit down and you meditate, and then you find that you're the mastermind. So whatever happens when you do whatever meditative exercise you do, it doesn't have to be meditation. You can be taking walks or like playing guitar. Um, Somehow answers come to you, solutions come to you. You find avenues into the light, or just solutions for everyday problems. And then you find doorways, and multiple doorways, which are just solutions. Scorpio, you should be proud of yourself. Look, and it's like all the doorways have different shapes and different colors, and you have great expertise at being finding different ways of solving problems. And it's like, okay, well, I have this solution. Somebody shoots it down. You're like, okay, well, then I have another one. Then I have another one. And then another one. It's like, it's something about either the project you're working on, or I get the sense that in this reading, it's spiritual. Um, you're crossing doorways. Let's just put it that way. And on the other side, your guides are really proud of you. It's a party. It's like they're so proud of you. That says I love you to the moon and back. I love you to the moon and back. And your guides are just reaching their hands out and just offering you a high five because you did it. You're doing it. You're doing it. You're in the process of, and it is living this life with mastery and just making life work for you. So these cards, wow, they're so powerful. It's like Scorpio is on this track. I see this as like a track. Kind of like It's a Small World After All. It's a small world after all. Like the Disney World ride. It's like you go from this land, which is the 3D world, everyday world, running, like doing household chores and running errands. And you go from this land where everything is murky and it's not quite fleshed out. It even looks like a ride. Everything, you know, it's an illusion. You know, you see through the nonsense. You're like, this isn't real. So either this could be in the cycle of a day or the cycle of like your meditation journey of 10 years, but you go from this place of living an everyday life, ho hum, and crossing over and finding yourself faced with a different option of being. So a higher consciousness, like an everyday higher vibration. So you get off the ride of the Matrix and you find yourself, you're like, where am I now? What do I do now? So there's a moment of stillness and just deliberation and pause, which you do need. There's a pause before you take steps up to ascension. That's a little heavy. It's a term that has baggage, but you're climbing stairs to something higher than just the everyday. Scorpio has access to higher states of knowing and connection. There's something on, like, at the end of the stairwell. That's this. Yeah. In other words, your guides. And I told myself I didn't want this reading to be too spiritual and to use too many spiritual terms, but the message is clear. And it's very Scorpio. I love it. Oh, like most of the colors are black and white. And when I think of Scorpio, I think of black and white and like the precision and the detail and the the knowingness that Scorpio has. And there's no doubt about it. It's black and white. You know the facts. And in this case, you know the facts of spirituality, of spirit, of getting to higher consciousness. And you're gonna climb those stairs. This is the last card of the reading. And like, what a cliffhanger. That's exciting. You did it. And of course, there's no end to this process of meditation and seeking higher vibration. Because when I say, oh, you did it, celebration party, you did something in your life where, I don't know, it was therapy or some kind of healing ceremony, or you just reached a deeper state of meditation. But you crossed the threshold, and now it's time for another level up, another step up. It's kind of like when you graduate high school and then you reach this point and you're like, well, I'm at the bottom again, but at least I've leveled up. It's kind of like that, but you have like the most beautiful journey ahead of you. And it's kind of mysterious, and you have something really special but deep and intense, which you love, to look forward to. It's interesting. Readings tend to do this. I did Libra about 2 weeks ago. The reading before this was Libra, and it was all about doorways and transitions. And yours is similarly about transitions, but who really have crossed over and crossing through, and are focused and dedicated to continuing on the journey to see what's on the other side of that light. What is the light? We always talk about love and light. Like, what is it? Well, Scorpio sees it. I can see it. They know what it is. And you just, like, each step up you go, you get closer into finding precisely what the light is, what it looks like, what it feels like, what it sounds like. Like, Scorpio might be spiritual, but they're not woo-woo. I love making that distinction. People lump those two phrases in the same category. It's like, no. What woo-woo people talk about is true. It's just how you apply those messages. And Scorpio applies spiritual terms in real, like, actualized ways. And by that I mean, like, they want to know what the light feels like and sees like, and like, what are the dimensions of it. I want to be able to define it. I want to be able to harness it, not in some abstract way. Scorpio says, I want to be able to harness the seeming abstraction of the moon, but I want to know, like, the exact angles in which to know the light and spirituality. I didn't want to make it spiritual, but here we are. Like, ah, I'm proud of you, Scorpio. I fucking love you. Whoop. I love you. Like, you're doing so great. Oh, and everything is just so precise, and you want to know the answers. You don't want to play around with spirituality. But as always, making space for playfulness and celebration and color is always important. It's important to balance your spiritual pursuits. And even if you're having a week where you're a little too intense, your guides are throwing a party for you. So if you're feeling a little too deep and it's feeling a little unproductive, tune into an energy of celebrating yourself and feel how your guides are celebrating you. You don't have to carry it all on your own back. They're celebrating for you as well. This just sums it up. This is the actual correct orientation of the photograph. It's a bridge, which doorway, bridge, transition, crossing over, and you're just chugging along on your little track, going from it's a small world after all into until until pure light, but you're doing it in a precise and intentional way. You're just pushing through the fabric of reality. So overall, you should be proud of yourself. Whatever you're doing. And even if it's a mundane, you could take this reading in a mundane way. So if you're just at work and you're trying to spearhead a project, you're intentionally crossing over from absolute chaos or illusion and nobody knows what they're talking about to exactly what you're doing. But Scorpio is a spiritual being, and I'm proud of you, and you're doing great, and that's all I have to say. So I will see you next week with another reading, and I'm glad you stopped by, and I'm thrilled to be doing this for you, and hopefully you'll keep joining me. So thank you. Bye.